How's it going, everyone? It's Ben Foggins, Media Corner, back again with a brand new video for today. Welcome back to the movie review, aka our Soul review video for today. This time for this new episode for this series is going to be my review on the 2023 action film, and this is the fourth entry of this action series that was created back in 2010, and that is The Expend4bles 4, or as it says on the poster, Expend4bles. Now, this comes to us from the director of Act of Valor and Need for Speed, and the story of the film is that armed with every weapon they can get their hands on, the Expendables are the world's last line of defense and the team that get called when all other options are off the table. So that's pretty much the story of Expend4bles. Now, for the first three Expendables films, I never saw any of them when they first came out, but just like with the Equalizer series, I did watch the first two films for the first time just before I saw the third film a few weeks ago. I did pretty much the exact same thing here with the Expendables film series here. I did watch the first three films just a few days ago, just before I saw this movie, and for what I think of them, well, the first film, I thought it was a decent action movie. It wasn't great or anything like that, but I had a fine time with that film. But the second movie, I enjoyed that one a lot more than the first film. I thought it was much more paced than the first film, and I thought it was overall a solid sequel. But the third film, however, I was not really a fan of the third film. That one I just did not like. So, because mostly due to the problems it had. Mostly the film being way too long and the film's rating being much more different than the first two, because the first two were R-rated. The third film was PG-13, and I just felt that was just kind of pointless and all that. But when I heard we were gonna get a fourth Expendables film, I just honestly did not know what to expect from it. I didn't even know, was it gonna be better than the last film, or was it gonna be much worse than the last film. But it was still great to see the previous cast members coming back to do this new entry. You know, Jason Statham and Sylvester Stallone and Dolph Lundgren and all that. It was great to see everyone coming back to do this one. And I was surprised with the new cast who are in this film, in which you've got Megan Fox, and you've got Tony Jaa, 50 Cent, and Andy Garcia. I was really intrigued to see what they were going to do for this new entry to the Expendables film series here. And I went to see this film just a few days ago, which I saw this on release day, which was on the 22nd of September. And I went to see this in a really big screening, although there wasn't that many people in the screening that I was in, unfortunately. But after watching this whole movie here, honestly, I would just rather watch the third film over this here, because this has got to be even worse than the Expendables 3 here. This movie was just terrible here. Well, the only one redeeming quality that I do have with Expend4bles is the acting. Like, Jason Statham does a solid job for his performance here in this film, as well as Sylvester Stallone, although he's not in the movie that much here. And as for some of the returning cast members from the previous three films, they did a fine job for their performances here in this film. And as for the new people who are in this film, in which, like I said, you've got Megan Fox, 50 Cent, and Tony Jaa, they did a fine job here for their performances here in this film. But for Andy Garcia, he's probably one of the weakest aspects when it comes to performances here in this film, because he was not all that good here, and he was just really laughably bad here. Like, there are times where his lines of dialogue do come off as cringy, and it did make me cringe while I was watching the film here when it came to some of those moments here in this film. But for the action scenes, there are plenty of few action scenes here and there, but I wouldn't say the action scenes here for this film are really memorable or even that fun here, because they were just so generic, yet really lackluster, and yet really fake as hell here, because it's mostly due to the direction and the effects here for this film, which both of them were just really atrociously bad here. Like, the direction here for this film is so bad. It's mostly shaky cam, which all that was not all that good, and there are times where the camera's like way too close to the actors' faces during the action scenes, in which when it came to that, you can immediately tell there's noticeable green screen and CGI, in which all that here was just so atrociously bad here. And as for the story for the film, it was just so generic here, and yeah, really basic here, because the way this film plays out its story here is just mostly a revenge story here, in which all of that was just not all that interesting or even that fun, because I was just incredibly bored from the whole storytelling here and all that. And as for a few scenes and all that where it doesn't require any action scenes at all really here, despite this film being a bit shorter than the last film here. So overall, in the end, guys, Expend4bles, yeah, this is unfortunately the worst in the series here. But if you're a massive fan of the series, you may have yourself having a good time with this new entry to the series here. But for me personally, I did not yet, and honestly as well for myself, I just honestly don't really recommend this film here. I would just honestly recommend some much better action films that came out this year. Mostly John Wick Chapter 4 here. I honestly much prefer that film over this film here. So that's pretty much all to say about Expend4bles. I'm gonna give Expend4bles 1 out of 5. Like I said, this is easily got to be the worst in the Expendables film series here. And honestly, I just much prefer watch better action films that came out this year other than this film here. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching for my AK After Hours Sword review on Expend4bles. And let me know what you think of this movie if you have seen this already or if you just recently checked out this film. Did you have a blast with this or was it not really a popcorn treat? As always, thank you guys so much for watching. And this has been Foggins Media Corner signing off.